Hello and welcome. My name is TyrionLanstr. Well, folks, I'm really excited because the glorious battle has begun, and it is the new one. We've got a three-person map. We've got so much to discuss. How are the rewards going to work? We'll be going through what the map looks like. We're going to be discussing what the ramifications of this are. It's going to be a really great one, guys. I'm really excited to dive on in. All right, folks, so let's take a look at our new glorious battlefield. Okay, if we go to our battlefield spot, you can notice I'm recording this, it was only a few days in, but we're already almost done with the event. It's really quick. It's now just a week. But with it being so short, it is kind of much more fast-paced and exciting. So let's first of all take a look at the battlefield as a whole. Okay, so here we go. We're looking at a much bigger version of the battlefield. I've kind of blown it all out for us so we can see a pretty large view of it. As you can see, they basically took the traditional map and then they deleted a faction that would be down in this corner, like they just reduced it down to just three in the top left, the bottom left, and then the middle right. Now, there's some things I want to note about this map. I think that they basically attempted to make them all mirror images of each other, where everything is equidistant away. Now, what is kind of interesting to me is that I will totally admit, I think that the far right faction has a bit of a disadvantage. If you look at the distance that they need to travel to get to the middle fortress for them, it's pretty clear that it's closer to the left-hand side structures than theirs. I can't tell for certain exactly what this difference is, but I can tell you that just looking at how the map has shaken out, I do think that they were the weakest faction in our group, but the orange and pink factions have been far more dominant just in terms of getting to the initial spots than the green faction was. Or I'm saying green, it's the long reach faction. But I just thought that was kind of interesting, and I was very intrigued by those distance differences, because it does at least appear to me that they are much, much closer to the left-hand side than the right, but I would hope that in designing it that they're designed to be pretty equal. Other than that, you can notice that there's basically the same starting positions of you've got small military, small merchant, you've got a medium merchant, a medium military, you've got gates, you've got an initial fortress. All of that is pretty much standard what you'd expect. I think that, again, the difference is that you now just share this one, kind of buff little hive with each of your two neighbors, and then they share one. And then the ways into the middle, each alliance basically has their own private way into the middle of the map, meaning that everyone's going to be fighting for that middle unless you take one of their gates, which seems fairly unlikely. It's just they've got a really nearby fortress. It should be pretty easy to defend that for the most part. As far as the middle part of the map, we've got one large military, one large merchant for each. What was really fascinating, though, was that the race, when these all opened up, became literally just who can get the glory gate first, because once you get that glory gate open, you basically unlocked four different sites to go to, two large merchants and two large militaries, which really, the fact that the shadow faction here happened to get that first made a big difference on the way the map looked, and as you can see, it looks like they are really dominating. So that's kind of what the map all looks like. It's definitely very interesting how they've designed it to work with just three factions. Now let's talk about the rewards. So if we look at the rewards, I find this fascinating, but it looks like the rewards are identical to what they would be if there were 8 factions. And you can see this by looking and seeing that this is basically what you would have gotten for first, second, and third. The individual eliminations also, the top prize is pretty much the same as what it was in the past. You still get 50 Hall of the Golden Bird fragments. And even the individual contributions, you're still getting 100 SS medals. It looks to me like it is the same, which is really, really nice because obviously with only 3 factions, it's a lot easier to get those rewards. So this is really a very, very considerable increase in terms of what you're getting. Overall, I'm really happy with that. I'll note for everyone that the faction influence rewards are effectively the same with the exception of 200 blessing stones each. I gotta say I'm not thrilled with that. My reasoning for not being thrilled with it is that it kind of disincentivizes faction cooperation. Like, it's much more worthwhile for you to do what's going to be best for your individual elimination points or your individual contribution points. Like, the rewards for each faction are kind of not considerable enough of a difference for it to meaningfully impact your account. Whereas getting a higher ranking in the individual contributions or the individual eliminations, that's going to make a much bigger impact on you. So I'm not thrilled with that. I kind of wish that they gave us more incentives to work together instead of incentivizing individual serving behavior. But anyway, other than that, there were some changes like to the rewards that you get. You now get them at a much higher frequency, again, because it's a much shorter event. But you get it basically every 100 contributions you make. Then it moves up to 200. But the very max that you can even get is 3,400 contributions, which is really not that much at the end of the day. The eliminations, I think, are identical. I think it's still the same 10 million elimination points needed to get the max reward there. So the result is that you really got to be constantly trying to get elims. But again, we're almost towards the end of the event. Like, it's going much, much quicker, which is, again, a considerable change to what we've seen before. The other major change is that because it's much faster paced now, the administration tasks are much cheaper. Things that used to cost 100, 150 are now, just 40 glory points. So it's definitely very different there. Even at the highest tier, we're just about 60. It's just not quite as expensive because there's an acknowledgement that, you're not getting quite as many for as long. It's only a week-long event. The max you can get each day is still 600, so that is still unchanged. But the last major change to the Glorious Battle is the fact that there is now a season pass that you can purchase in playing this Glorious Battle. So this will only last you for the full, 7 days of the event. But basically each day you get an extra marching bugle, you get some blue diamonds, you get some speed ups, you also get some immediate prizes. By the way, also you should note, like, I haven't done it for the first 5 days. If I do it, my understanding is that I would actually get all of these rewards as though they've kind of been building up. Now the other thing you get is there's some buffs you get within the actual event. So whenever you're doing construction, you get 10% more like points out of that, is my understanding. You also march a little bit faster. You're going to have a shorter cooldown time, which is kind of huge. If you're switching between military positions, now you can do it twice a day instead of once a day. Big difference there. And then kind of the big reward is that your maximum glory points are going to be going up. I believe it's by 100, but basically you can get more each day, is my understanding of that. So you can see the full breakdown here and read through all of them. Yeah, you can see here the daily limit goes up by 100, just to confirm that for all of you. You can read through it exactly to understand what you're getting. It's 100 black diamonds. I kind of think that I would be more willing to get this if it was the 28-day, like, kind of much longer scale event, or even the 14-day. It makes me more willing. Just for me, then the event's lasting longer. I'm going to get more value out of this. In a 7-day event, I don't feel like it's setting me back that much to not have it. So I wasn't too worried about it. But anyway, this is basically what the map looks like. This is kind of all the new changes to it. I'm really, really excited about it. It's been a lot of fun so far. I hope all of you are enjoying it. I love the faster pace of it from the perspective of just, it is all happening much quicker, and I think you're getting to the fun parts a lot faster. In the past events, you're spending all this time farming, and it's kind of frustrating in that way. Like I said, I do wish that they had done more to incentivize group work, but in general, I'm a huge fan of this. I love the Glorious Battle as an event in general. I just wish that they would incentivize more faction cooperation, potentially by giving better faction-wide rewards, instead of just kind of rewarding everyone pretty much the same way. But the Glory Raffle is still a great way to get Darius medals. Just getting your basic contributions and eliminations still worth a lot. So hopefully people are still active in this event, still enjoying it. I know it's still one of my favorites, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Definitely a lot to explore in this, and I think I've covered just about everything, but please let me know if there's anything that I've missed. But until next time, my name is TyrionLanstr, and I'll see you then.